It was like 2 days before state. I think Keepa threw me. I tried to prevent it. I posted my arm out and I hyperextended my elbow, dude. I had a ball like huge like this on my elbow, and that broke my heart. I could not participate. I wanted to participate either way. They wouldn't let me. I was out. That kind of shattered my whole perspective of life because wrestling was my life at that point. And that's why I showed up to school, just because I loved it so much. I loved the competition, and it shattered me, bro.
Hey there, and welcome to the Woodburn Podcast, where we believe every story matters and every neighbor has something worth sharing. I'm your host, Gilbert Lopez. I'll be sitting down with local business owners, community leaders, and hometown heroes right here in Woodburn. You'll discover amazing people in your own backyard and feel more connected to the community we call home. Make sure to follow us on Instagram and YouTube at Woodburn Podcast to be the first to know about new episodes and announcements. All right, welcome to another episode of the Woodburn Podcast. I am sitting down with my buddy, Jesus Arellano, and we go back to 2004, right?
Yeah, 2004, man. That's kind of where we met. Yeah.
But hey, thank you for joining us here today.
Yeah, dude, it's a pleasure seeing you again, man. Like, every time I see you, it's a privilege of mine just because you're a big influence in my life in the 04. You want to tell them how we met?
The wrestling mat.
Yeah.
Let's hear from your perspective.
Okay. No, yeah. It was a big transition for me because I was like coming from Los Angeles, born and raised in Los Angeles. And shout out to Coach Colomb, who played a big influence on me joining the wrestling team.
Yeah.
I had a different mentality back then where being in a singlet wasn't something I was comfortable doing. And I also was just like, man, that's dude. I don't want to be seen in something like that. And at the end of the day, he was able to convince me, and I go up there in the mat and I got my rear end handed to me by you of all people. So after that, I fell in love with just what wrestling was. It was almost like fighting someone with a little bit of rules. And so you kind of had to stand on your own ground, and that appealed to me growing up in Los Angeles. And so that's kind of the origins of kind of how we met, right?
Right. And just to piggyback what you were saying, the singlet is very uncomfortable if you never grew up with it. And you're just showing your whole body in a mat. Really.
Now we know what the ladies feel like when they're in their bikinis, huh?
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
It's a little odd. It's not
very odd.
It's not normal. It doesn't feel normal right away,
Yep.
for sure.
And I know a lot of people that didn't want to join wrestling because
Exactly that.
they didn't want to wear a singlet.
Right. And
Yeah.
that was me for a while until I took that challenge on, and I never looked back. So
Nice. So you mentioned that you grew up in LA. What brought you to Woodburn?
Oh, that's a good question. When I was 11, my uncle went down there. He would visit us probably on a yearly basis because that's my mom's brother, right? And we all grew up together. We used to live next door to each other. And then they relocated up here up north, and we stopped seeing them. Maybe, once a year we start seeing them. And I grew up around these people, my cousins, and all of a sudden, like, our best friends were gone. My uncle would come visit us once a year. And one day he just showed up and he's like, you guys got to get out of here. It's dangerous. You guys are going to, lose a child one of these days. Cause it was wild, man. It was drive-bys all the time. Like every other day, we were just around a bunch of gang culture and just stupidity growing up. And we thought that was normal because that's kind of what we grew up seeing every single day. But when we look back now, it was not a normal upbringing. But eventually he kind of just advocated for me to go up there, and I just hitched a ride. And I never came back.
Really? What do you mean hitch a ride?
I just convinced them. I cried. I convinced my parents to let me go, and they agreed to let me and my brother go up there just for a little bit, just to kind of check out Oregon.
Okay.
Because I didn't know what Oregon was, and I had never left Los Angeles other than to go down to TJ to visit an aunt and in Mexico. Right? It was only like 3-hour drive away. So I hitched the ride. We drove up from Los Angeles to Oregon. And I fell in love. The trees, the atmosphere, everything was completely different. Everything was mellow, chill compared to Los Angeles. I saw my first white person out here because grew up with just Mexican and black people, and that's all I knew, right?
Yeah.
And so like I had new friends. I was excited. I was a young kid, relearning everything essentially. So when it was time to enroll in school, my uncle put me in school with my aunt, and they kind of housed me for the next 2-3 years. And when my parents would call, I'd be like, nope, I'm not going back. I'm not going back. And
Well,
pretty much, I forced them to relocate
Oh,
because I wouldn't go back.
amazing. Well, hey, thank you to your uncle.
Yeah,
For
shout
us.
out to Lenchazo. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I wouldn't have met you.
Yeah, no, for sure, man. Like just looking back at these memories, these pictures, kind of how it's crazy to think about how like those moments shaped us, right? Like they played a big influence in our lives and who we are today.
Yeah.
And I can honestly sit here and tell you, like, wrestling changed my life. It taught me a lot of stuff about life that nothing else in life has been able to teach me. And some of the most important things, man, respect, discipline, honoring those around you, you
Yeah.
know, and stepping up and being a man when things get tough. So you played a big influence on my life, pushing me through that season. Because you were a senior and I was a freshman when I
Yeah.
came in, right?
Oh, yep.
So I got a little bit of time with you and got beat up. But the long socks, bro, that was influenced by Gilbert. Yeah, I took that from Gilbert, and when he graduated, I kept the long socks going. So
And I got that from my brother David.
shout out to David.
Yep.
We kept it going for you, man.
Yep.
Yeah, cool, man.
You got that bulldog. I like that singlet. I wish we had that when I was around.
No, yeah, we actually, Colombe, once again, he was talking to the athletic director and finally convinced them to increase our budget that one year, and we all got new singlets, dude. It was like, those are sick, dude. I still got mine.
Yeah, I remember the budget was really low, sharing like singlets at one point.
Oh, dang. No,
Well,
I
this
don't-
is like in middle school.
I wasn't there.
Yeah.
Yeah, this guy, I actually lost to this guy one time. This match, I beat him up hard. I was like, I think I had like a cold or something that day, and I was just not feeling it. And then I faced him later in that season again, and I just beat the crap out of him. But I got my revenge, and that guy was a leg rider. Coming into wrestling, dude, I had no idea what leg riders can do, and that was like top notch skill to have. And this guy rode me, and just I don't even remember if he teched me or pinned me the first battle, but later on in district where it counted, I smoked him. I got my revenge. So
That's the thing about wrestling. Like, you can always get your redemption. You'll see that person again.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Tell us about your stories too, because I know you faced many opponents multiple times, and like, dude, you had some wars, man.
I have. I think that's for another day.
Okay, yeah.
For another day. This is about you here.
Okay.
About you. Okay, so this is my memory. And I remember you walking in the wrestling room, and I knew your skill was in there, but your heart was there.
Nice, dude. Yeah.
Dude, you did not give up.
It was like a fight, man. It felt like a fight to me every single time, and it was a challenge. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I was so used to wrestling people in the mat. And, you just like do a head snap and, do a hard double, they break.
Sure. Yeah.
You didn't break.
Oh, dude. Yeah, I appreciate that, Gil. That means a lot coming from you, especially because like you were Greco runner up. Like you had USA Cobra under you. Like you had skill, and you had you started wrestling from a very young age. So you
Yeah.
had a solid foundation, and you were top 3 every year, I think. So like wrestling someone my size who was like way stronger. You had gorilla grip, bro. Like I thought I was strong, and I was told a lot of times that I was very strong for my size, but you had like gorilla grip, dude. I was like, it was a challenge every time. So yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so I did grow up wrestling since I was like 7, 8. And then you started when you were older, but yet you found some success. I want to show a clip.
I took second at districts. If I'm telling you the truth, I kind of choked on when we were under the spotlight in front of everyone, and we were like the last match of the night.
Can you
And-
describe that a little bit more? Like the environment?
Oh, dude, it's sick. It's like you got a whole stadium or auditorium, a gym full of just packed. It's packed, parents, friends, family. And by the time you're wrestling for first and second place, all the matches had already done their job. Like they've already wrestled. And so like they turn off all the lights and put the spotlight on you. And it's
Okay.
just quiet and it's just you and this dude battling out.
Yep.
I could have beat this guy. And I needed to fine tune a little bit like my single leg and my double leg. They were there, but I was just not cutting that corner. And he would take advantage of my little mistakes. Those little mistakes that he just would capitalizing on. And he ended up winning by points, but there's no doubt in my mind I could have beat him. But yeah, I took second place that night.
Okay. So top 3 go to state.
Top 3 go to state, yeah.
Okay. Tell us what happened after that.
Oh, dude, brutal. This is kind of the beginning of the transition in my life. I placed second state, qualifying me for state.
Right.
And I remember everyone was just like giving me the hype, like, dude, you're going to be top 3 in state, dude. This is your senior year. We're going to make this count. And I was just stoked because from the last time I saw you my freshman year, now I'm a senior.
Yeah.
And like, like you said, I've built some success. I've got some matches under me, some experience. And now I'm feeling confident in this singlet.
Right.
You know,
There you go.
When at first I didn't even want to put it on because I felt so uncomfortable. But now I felt like a champ, dude. I was starting to get that vibe and
Built that mindset.
And shout out to Keepa and Nikita, who was 2 twins, Russian twins in our team who are also still good friends of ours. And we occasionally I ran into Nikita this morning, actually. And they were very skilled and had alpha or what's it called? All phase wrestling camps on top of like what we were doing, wrestling tournaments. They did USA Cobra, stuff like that. So they had a lot more skill than I did. And they were a lot heavier than me too. And we would just battle it out and train each other. And it got to the point where we couldn't take each other down. And it was so competitive. So I was always training with people heavier than me, stronger than me. And one day, dude, it was like 2 days before state.
Okay.
I think Keepa threw me. And then like I tried to prevent it. Wizard. I made a mistake. I posted my arm out.
Woof.
And I hyperextended my elbow, dude. I had a ball like huge like this on my elbow. And that broke my heart, dude. I could not participate. I wanted to participate either way. They wouldn't let me.
You're out.
I was out. That kind of shattered my whole perspective of life because all I knew at that point was like my love for the game.
Yeah.
Wrestling was my life at that point, and that's why I showed up to school, just because I loved it so much. You know, I loved the competition, and it shattered me, bro. I dropped out of school,
man,
and I needed like 1 or 2 more credits, and honestly, I didn't graduate because of it. And then I got into like this crazy like drinking binge, smoking pot and being stupid. And then I just kind of snapped out of it. I was like, what am I doing?
Right.
What am I doing? And then I enrolled in school, and like I just needed like 2 credits, and it took me the whole entire year to wait to graduate and get my diploma. But I went back, and that little mistake just kind of destroyed my heart a little bit for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the love for the game. Like you love wrestling so much. Like this is like your life, and you finally make it to the very top. You're excited for the state tournament. You have like that 1 week or 2 weeks off. Usually, it's like a week between districts and state. And for that to happen, it breaks my heart when I heard it.
Yeah, and it's something that people don't understand. It becomes a lifestyle at that point because it's not just like a sport. It's not just like soccer or football. You go out there and you work out, train, and you go back home. Like this is different because we're talking about weight classes, right?
Yeah.
We're talking about weight classes. Some people cut weight.
Yep.
And I remember learning the discipline of cutting weight, dude. I used to cut 10 pounds at one point in one day.
1 day.
And then go out there and wrestle and dominate. And like, I'm not a big guy to begin with.
No.
So like that would drain me,
lot of weight.
It would teach me how to be a savage. And I learned that from you too. Like cutting weight, the discipline, the training hard, and just not stopping, bro. And so it was a lifestyle. My mom would get mad at me because it'd be like dinner time and she'd be like, ven a comer, or come eat. And I'd be over there with this big bowl of salad and I'm just like throwing hot sauce on it and just lime and trying to make it taste good. but it's just a bunch of rabbit food, right? And
Yeah.
I'm just trying to make weight. And
Yeah.
she didn't understand that. She was always pissed off, yelling at me, but she didn't understand it. But that was a passion of mine at that moment. Yeah.
Yeah. I can picture your mom like, mijo, vente a comer.
Yeah, for sure. Even to this day. Bless them, you know. Yeah. Shout out to Cordelia. Yeah. Yeah. Was
this is in Woodburn, right?
yeah, that was a home match under the spotlight too.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a good match too. That guy was very competitive. He also had beat me once, and then I came back and beat him at home. So that was very meaningful. Yeah.
I noticed when I graduated, you guys had a bigger crowd. More people started watching wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at that picture. I'm like, you can't really see it, but you have a decent amount of people back there.
Yeah, it started to catch on. It started to trend, and I think just the support from the friends, even family, and just starting. We had not only yourself after you graduated, but we had like 3 or 4 different athletes within our team who were actually very skilled.
Yeah.
And you have your own relationship with them. You got to meet them, and a lot of them, were viewed as top athletes who would be, expected to take state either one of those years, and either way. So we started getting support.
I love that.
Yeah.
I was watching you guys from afar. At that time, I had a full-time job, working 2 jobs, and looking back, I wish I would have been to some of those matches. Man. But I'm glad the sport's growing. Woodburn's having some success right now.
Yeah. Especially the wrestling team, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think they got like an all-women's wrestling team too. I think you were telling me, right?
Yeah, they have a women's team now. My
Which is
brother
cool.
David, the first coach for the women's team.
Once again, shout out to David, man, passing it to the next generation, man.
Yeah.
Even the women, man, they can put it down.
They can. If you have
Actually, speaking of women, I actually got pinned by a girl one time, and she was a beast, man.
Wait.
I don't remember her name, but shout out to her because she made me look like a fool out there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. She was strong too.
And to say this on the podcast,
hey, the truth is the truth, man, no matter what. But I learned a lot through that. And then I seen her later on, and either way, long story short, man, it was a good experience.
Yeah, women's sports and wrestling, it's really growing a lot. It's amazing. They have their own state tournament now.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's impressive. Yeah. No, there's a lot of good talent out there, especially when they start them young. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, for sure.
And then after high school, you found a new passion.
Dude, I was comparing wrestling to fighting, and then literally fighting opened up.
Look at that picture.
It was on my radar, and then when I found out that they actually had that stuff going on, I mean, shout out to UFC and like all the old school, pride and stuff like that, made the way, and essentially modern day gladiators being broadcasted on TV, right?
Yeah.
So, man, I had a lot of athletes that I used to watch and follow, and that created a passion within me to want to try that out. And yeah, I did. I participated. As soon as I got out of high school, I wasn't even 18 years old. They didn't let me fight until I turned 18, which was my first fight in Salem. We sold out the Salem Armory.
Mm-hmm.
And I fought on my birthday, bro.
On
my birthday to turn 18. It was crazy. And I ended up winning, which was a perfect birthday gift. But that was a brutal fight, though. That was a brutal fight. We just beat the crap out of each other, and bloody face, everything. And
you look stacked.
Dude, I was training with some big dudes. And my weight class was 125, and that was just like some of the beginnings of 125 flyweight. And the UFC actually got rid of it for a little while, I think, if I remember correctly, and then brought it back. So we're little guys. This guy, I think he cut so much weight. He was probably naturally like 150, 160. He was a big dude. He actually threw me, and usually I'm not being thrown around like a rag doll, but I got him down on the ground and I pounded him for like 3 minutes.
So you were training with some big dogs out there.
I started off with a small team, and then I ended up here in Woodburn, actually, just across the street from us. where I started my first MMA journey and kind of where I started learning how to integrate my wrestling and to jiu-jitsu, learning jiu-jitsu. And for some reason, it just clicked with me really nicely. I was a natural. People, wrestlers like like yourself, you don't like to be on your back.
No.
But for some reason, I felt comfortable. I understood it a little bit differently, and I felt comfortable on the back and sweeping people. And I didn't panic when I was on my back. I stayed relaxed, and it transitioned from wrestling to jiu-jitsu to boxing. I've always had a boxing passion. I used to watch boxing growing up as a kid. I'm sure every Mexican grew up watching Chavez. And, a bunch of these other fighters that are savages, right? And that turned into also taking on Muay Thai, and those were my disciplines. And yeah, we got some real big hitters there. We got some pros. We got Chael Sonnen, we got Vinny Mahagales, and we got Tommy Leesman, all pros. We got a few other guys. This girl right here, she was a beast. She was tiny, and she ended up fighting for Invicta when Invicta first started coming around, and all women's MMA fighting. So there's a few other people in there that I'm forgetting their names of right now. Please forgive me, but some people, man, for sure.
Yeah, the big name, Chael Sonnen. He fought for the UFC.
Yeah.
He's
a local, man. He's a local. I spent a lot of time around him and got to meet him and his family. And I'm friends with one of his cousins, Sid Sonnen. Shout out to Sid and the Sonnen family. Yeah, super awesome dude. Great family. Amazing experience, man.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you know, but Ty Sonnen, his cousin, he coached for Woodburn for a few years. He coached me for, I think, a year or two.
Okay, yeah. I don't know him, but
good dude.
Yeah, all the Sonnen family.
Yep.
It's a little bit blurry, but yeah, we got some pros in there again. Once again, Yushin Okami used to fly in specifically to train with Chael from Japan. Literally, he would bring his whole team. Keita Nakamura, who's also a big Tokyo fighter, coming from Tokyo. And man, a lot of awesome people there. It was awesome to just be a part of that.
Like, how was it in the room, like, with that much talent?
It was inspiring, man, because like we'd go out there and just go into these sessions and just battle it out for hours. And when I mean hours, I mean it literally. And it made me a different athlete. And then having one or two people just my size and everyone else was completely bigger, it made me even more of a savage. So it was impressive. It was a shock at first, but it took me a little while to readjust to that competitiveness. The cardio was completely different. It was very demanding, but it taught me a lot of mental strength and cardio. But yeah. Iron sharpens iron. Exactly. Yeah, for sure, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bro, this picture, I love this picture.
Dude, that was my birthday. That was my birthday, the one I was just telling you about that night. I had a black eye. I don't know if you can tell, but shout out to Justin Walls, who kicked me during practice in the freaking eye. Gave me a black eye like 2 days before my fight. And so I had
what's you getting hurt before big tournament?
Dude, we go hard, man. I used to go hard. People are always trying to take me out because I was smaller, but I got that dog in me, So I got to show them up.
So this is before your fight or after the fight?
That was after my fight, and I had won that fight, and they laid me with this little octagon as a prize. So I'm wearing it there, and then they told me to pose for this. NorthwestGladiator.com was kind of like a scene, not a newspaper, but they were just covering fighters at that time.
Okay.
Local fighters.
But from that picture to this picture, look at this friendly neighborhood.
Handsome young man.
Agent.
Yeah, dude. No, man, there's been a big transition. Like we adult, right? Yeah. We adult, and we have to figure out where we're going to go, what type of careers we're going to take on, and felt like just having a normal job wasn't good enough for me. And I decided to take that risk and become a real estate broker. And I've been doing it ever since. Yeah.
Yeah. So what drew you into real estate?
Yeah, no, just my upbringing. Growing up in renting apartments, my parents renting everywhere we were, apartment to apartment. And just, I didn't understand it really, but as I got older, I knew that I wanted to be the person that they rented from. I wanted to own my own and house people. I wanted to give that opportunity, not only to me and my family, but to own something
Right.
for ourselves, because we were always renting. And
Yeah.
that's kind of what drew me into it, real estate, and seeing that vision of wanting to have more, being able to acquire it and also help other people too.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a will, there's a way, right?
There is a
So
way.
trying to learn from those who have succeeded before us, for sure.
Yeah. And I know you've been doing it for a few years, but do you recall your first deal? Like that emotion, like how was it?
Yeah, that one has a special place with me in my heart. And I think every agent probably does too, right? I've
Yeah.
been licensed for 5 years now. And the very first deal was with this dude who was under foreclosure, but he wouldn't tell me. We listed the house. I was the listing agent. I listed the house and we got an offer in 2 days in. Cash offer. I think it was like $70,000 under asking.
Oh,
And so we immediately rejected it, right?
Yeah.
And 2 days later, we get another offer in. It was a finance offer. And I told him to take it. It was good. He wanted me to reject it. But then a prelim, I advised my client to take the offer.
Okay.
Learning a few days later that a prelim title report was ordered, which happens with every deal that gets accepted. They kind of uncover whether the property is transferable or not.
Oh.
I found out that he was under foreclosure.
Oh,
And
no.
after having several conversations with him, trying to figure out if there's anything that I needed to know before we went on the market, he was always assuring me that there was nothing wrong. I found out that, hey, your property is about to get sold at the Marion County steps in an auction because you're under foreclosure. So
Mhm.
we cannot take this deal. And it was going to be in like 15, 20, 30 days or something crazy.
Oh, gee.
It was going to happen quick. And so we had to make this close no matter what. So that one's special to me because knowing a little bit about his circumstances in that moment kind of threw a curveball at the deal. And I had an opportunity to help someone get back on their feet, make sure they didn't lose everything, put some money back in their pocket and give them a fresh start. So it really means a lot to me that I was able to help him through the finish line and just put some more money in his pocket and give him a fresh start.
It's amazing. I would imagine he was embarrassed to share that information with you or just had a lot going on, or I'm sure it
You
happens
know,
a lot, or does that happen a lot?
it happens a lot. Absolutely.
Okay.
Finance conversations with people regarding their finances is not a common conversation. It's weird even within your own family, right? Have you ever had a conversation with your brother or your own family? How much money or how much money do you have in the bank? Or,
Right.
hey, I'm struggling with this, or I'm in
Yep.
debt.
Yep.
Those aren't light conversations to have with anyone, not even your partner, right?
No.
So I'm assuming that looking back, he probably was ashamed or he was embarrassed, and especially having a grown man look at someone like myself, who I get this a lot. You look like a little kid. What do you know, right? So that's an objection that I get a lot. And so I was in a position to help someone and say, hey, look, let's get this done. Let's help you out and get you out of this rut. And it was a very meaningful deal for me, but also in a positive way for him to have an exit route for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Thing I like about you, you're really well informed. Like I'll ask you about a topic and you go really in detail. Like I'll get my answer.
I appreciate it. Yeah, no, I think it's important to not only be educated, but to help educate those who don't have the information at hand to them. And first, I have to start with myself and go for myself and pursue it with the passion so that I know what I'm talking about and I'm not misleading people. Real estate is a vehicle that could help people not only acquire properties or sell properties, but there's a lot of money involved. And you can harm someone's future easily if you don't know what you're doing. You can lose people's earnest money if you don't know what you're doing. If you don't know your contractual agreements, your timelines, and your windows of when you can safely exit a deal, that means that you're putting your client in harm.
Yep.
So I try to stay educated. I try to understand what I'm getting myself into all the time and clearly express that to my clients so that they know that they're working with a professional and not just some, dirtbag Joe over there, which there is a lot in
Yeah.
this industry.
Yeah.
And real estate is notorious for that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, if you're listening and you're thinking about maybe selling your house or buying a home, and it can be scary.
Absolutely.
There's so many agents out there. Like, who do I choose?
No,
Right.
there's a plethora of agents out there. They're all from all walks of life, some
Yep.
local, some coming from different places and just dominating the market. It's not an easy game. And so I appreciate you once again having me out here, putting my face out there. Woodburn is a place where I've been for 25 years now. The Hubbard community, all the Marion County area, I'm really familiar with, and so this is kind of my territory that I navigate through. So there is a lot of information out there. There is a lot of steps. There is a lot of things that people need to do to prep their homes before hitting the market. A lot of legwork, pre-approvals need to be issued for buyers, and understanding what is required from them. So it's not just something
Can
that
you elaborate more about that pre-approval?
Yeah. Oftentimes one of the biggest hurdles with first-time home buyers is people do the process backwards.
Okay.
It's the most frustrating thing. But through the process, I'm also learning how to educate people, how to speak with different types of people, and how to put the message across so that they understand without me just kind of rambling like I'm doing now. But I've created a free resource guide that I like to sit with my clients with and kind of just show them the basic steps, step by step, so they understand what is expected and what documents are needed and how to get to that next step, getting a pre-approval issued. So having good relationships with people, communicating clearly with them, understanding the expectations and what is required from them, and also involving lenders and having that open discussion with them, and because it regards their finances, right? So it's part of it. Yeah.
Okay. What would be the first step you recommend they do?
The first step is obviously talking to the agent to understand what the first step really is, which is, getting your finances in order.
Yeah.
What is the lender going to require from you, right? So some of the stuff that they require mainly is, your W-2s, the 2 years of tax returns, right? Your driver's license, social security, whatever, and just the basic stuff like that. And obviously, like, they want to check your credit. If you're financing, they want to make sure that you can qualify for something based off of your credit. Make sure you don't have too much debt, and that's pretty much it. And I think two basic pay stubs of your most recent pay. So they will check your bank accounts. They want to see if you have savings. They want to make sure that you have money in the bank and what your spending looks like, so that you're not getting yourself into a pickle, right? And you can actually afford the home that you're trying to buy.
They can go back 2 years.
Yeah, 2 years, 2 years of employment history. And as long as you have that on paper, you're pretty much set. Good credit, 580 and above. Anything below that, you might have to just put more money down, but
Okay. Yeah, 580. That's not bad.
Not that bad.
Not
It's
too bad.
achievable.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So you sell houses and you went through the whole process yourself,
Absolutely.
buying a home.
Yeah.
And describe this picture for me.
Shout out to my wife, my lovely wife, Callan. Yeah, this was a moment where we received our first keys to our very own home. And that was a very special moment. We still live at this house, but we have completely flipped it. And pretty soon we're hoping to make it a rental, start on another one. But it's part of the vision, right? Acquiring your own home, being able to live that dream and making it a reality with your partner. And been a lot of hard work but amazing to come from the background, what I've had to go through to be able to acquire my first home, right? And is definitely very meaningful to me, for sure. Yeah.
Now you're helping people
Yeah,
accomplish that dream.
It's so special. Like,
Yeah.
I get to do that and help people, have those moments for themselves, and I get to be that vehicle to help them do that. So it's super special to me.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
You want to talk about the brokerage you work for?
I work for Real Broker, part of the Operative Group. So Real Broker is a digitally based company. So just to dumb it down a little bit, it just means that wherever I have a laptop and internet access connection, I can do business. I can write contracts anywhere in the state of Oregon. And I'm part of a team too. Shout out to Dan and Ed for giving me an opportunity to be part of the Operative Group. Amazing team. We're in a trajectory right now to be top 3 in the whole entire state. So they're savages, man. They're experts in not only flips and investment properties, but we help a lot of people sell and buy homes, for sure. investors or just normal people. Yeah.
Freeing the state. That's impressive.
Yeah, it's they work hard and they're building an army, man, for sure. Something special.
So you sent me a picture that you were doing door to door for the mailers, and I couldn't put it up there for some reason. But dude, going door to door is hard. Is that what you had to do when you first started to generate leads, or?
It's part of the process. It's an old school method. Not much people are doing it nowadays, but I think that going door to door does take some grit. There is a lot of rejection, a lot of, that takes place. But also, I think it's important to get your face out there, to be integrated into the community.
Yep.
To know who your neighbors are. And
Yep.
for me, yeah, it might generate a lead or two, but I need to make sure that I'm seeing who's my neighbor, who's talking, about the real estate agent who lives in the neighborhood. I want them to be saying, "Oh, it's Jesus, it's me, it's Chewy," and so that's kind of what I do from time to time. I don't do it all the time, but it's one of the avenues that I use to get my face out there.
Yeah.
For sure.
And you speak Spanish too.
And I do speak Spanish, so it kind of helps. Sometimes we get Spanish speaking people only, and I try to help them, and there's a lack of representation in the Hispanic community that I'm trying to help, and being bilingual actually helps because a lot of people don't know what resources are available to them. So I get to share that with them. It's a huge privilege for sure.
Yeah, I remember when my parents bought their first home in 1997, and it was a scary time because they didn't speak English. Luckily, they found a good friend that helped them with the process, finding a good realtor,
Yeah.
and the realtor didn't speak
Oh,
Spanish.
okay.
And then you do.
Yeah.
You can speak to your people.
No, I can. And that makes it even more special because I get to represent them and help them, guide them through the process, and try to ease the stress. Especially, I can't imagine, getting into these contractual agreements that have, your finances involved and not knowing what the other guy on the other side is saying.
Yeah.
And you're just like winging it, and you're signing papers, having no clue what you're signing, and you wouldn't believe it, but it does happen. So me being able to speak to people and ease their mind is very helpful for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bro, you sent me this picture today. Tell me more about it.
Dude, that was a cool night, man. That was the same night on my birthday. So that was a beautiful gift to myself, not only winning the match, but this particular individual later on wanted to fight me again. And I wish I would have got the opportunity to, because he had like 4 or 5 different belts. He held like 5 different titles, and I reached out to him to see how he was doing. And he's like, "Dude, we need to run it back.
Okay.
We need to run it back. And you're the toughest guy I've ever faced." And he was a pro at that time, and he was just like killing it. But I smoked him. I have a video on Facebook if you guys want to watch it. But it was a fun night. It was definitely a fun night. And to make the story even sweeter, Woodburn Independent reached out and wanted to do a little article for me, and
Sweet.
that was awesome, dude. I was on the newspaper, and that was a cool little highlight of my life right there. That little moment.
That's an amazing picture.
No, yeah,
Look at
it's
that shot. That's a good angle. Shout out to the camera guy.
yeah, no, I need to put it in a frame before it gets too destroyed. It's a little beat up already.
So, we both lived here for a very long time, and Woodburn just blowing up.
Yeah.
Like, why do you think it's happening here in Woodburn? Like, what's happening here?
Yeah, Woodburn is growing substantially. We're seeing a ton of different builders come in and just start building new homes, right? Making new communities, expanding the growth boundaries, and Amazon recently acquired a chunk of property out here.
Yep.
And it's huge. It's let me look up how big it is, because it's ridiculously big.
It's huge. Yeah.
Let me see what the Google says real quick. But so Amazon facility in Woodburn, the largest fulfillment center in the Pacific Northwest. So it's 3.8 million square feet, and it's 5 stories high.
3.8
million square feet. And they have a 30-mile conveyor system, and is heavily automated with robots.
Wow.
I actually know a few people. One of my tenants actually works there, and She tells me how crazy and freaky it is because robots are coming to you nonstop to do the work, and they're just dropping off packages, and you're
Oh,
supposed to do all this stuff with the
oh, dang.
conveyor belt,
Really?
and they're
Oh,
just keeping them just busy all day. So she says it's very laborious, but they pay well and they're willing to compensate. But it's allowed people to start coming in from different places, and more housing is required. So we got builders out here just building, giving good incentives to people to inhabit their homes, providing better interest rates than what the market is producing, and allowing people to kind of just become homeowners out here. So
Yeah.
yeah, Woodburn is growing big time right
It is.
now, for sure.
Yeah. How many employees are there right now? Do you know?
Oh, dude, that's a good question. I mean, we can look it up. And they said it's at approximately 1,500 people work there, and they're planning on growing up to 3,000, 3,500. But currently about 1,500 employees.
A
So
lot,
that's a lot of
of
people
there.
being, given jobs there and stimulating the economy here.
Means more homes,
More homes,
more.
more paychecks,
More
more
paychecks.
spending,
Yep.
bigger growth in the city. And we're starting to see it take effect now. And I've never seen Woodburn this big, and I've never seen the diversity come to this point. It's kind of cool, man.
Yeah, there's traffic like 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's new.
New parks, new traffic, new homes.
Yeah.
They're actually putting the money back into the cities, and we're starting to see beautiful homes being built. So
Yeah.
Woodburn, besides the Woodburn outlets, that's what they usually are known for, is becoming a hub. People are coming out here for employment, which is odd, So
Right.
people are trying to buy homes, selling homes constantly, and the market's hot constantly, no matter what.
Now, for anybody listening that wants to get a hold of you and maybe work with you,
Yeah.
what is the best way for them to reach you?
Yeah, my phone number is 503-951-0856. Oftentimes on Instagram, people reach out to me on Instagram and Facebook. Instagram, the official Arellano, Arellano, and for Facebook is official Arellano instead of the official Arellano. So you can find me on Facebook, Instagram. You can reach out via email as well, Jesus@theoperativegroup.com. And yeah, reach out anytime, guys.
Awesome. Any final advice for the Woodburn community?
Oh man, just keep plugging away, keep working hard. I'm seeing a lot of dreams being realized out here. People that we grew up with are becoming successful. They're finding their way. It's inspiring in all aspects of life. And attending Woodburn High, we were like the school that nobody wanted to deal with. No one wanted to come to Woodburn, but there's a lot of cool stories that are coming out from here, and I think it's important to kind of share these little stories and be a part of it too, kind of, but it's happening. Keep grinding, no se rindan, it's every day is a battle, but we have to show up no matter what. Just keep showing up, man.
Love it. All right, brother. Thank you
Appreciate
for joining.
it, man. Yes, sir.
See you again too.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Well, that's a wrap for today's episode. Thank you for listening to the Woodburn Podcast. If you enjoyed it, share it with a neighbor, and make sure to follow us on Instagram and YouTube at Woodburn Podcast. Until next time, stay safe and watch out for those potholes.